Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. So earlier in the week, I discussed this report from Linksys here that said Tesla workers were sharing sensitive images recorded by customer cars. In here, you have several employees and ex-employees that were discussing the fact that at Tesla, when they are recording data from the cars for their self-driving program, that they are also looking at images of people in their garage when they're naked. They are taking weird things they see in the videos and then joking about it and then sharing it on their internal servers and their chat systems and making memes out of them, which is kind of weird. I completely understand that if you would like to make cars drive themselves and you are telling the public we are going to use data from the cameras on your cars to make that happen, that somebody is probably going to be inspecting where I'm driving if I'm using that car, or trying to figure out if this is a child, a fire hydrant, or something else. That's all understandable. That being said, I kind of expect that if I'm walking around my garage naked, that you are not going to be saving these types of photos or sharing them, and that most certainly you're not going to take private moments in my home and then turn it into memes that you then share on your chat server, and most definitely not that the people that encouraged this and took part in it would get promoted to higher positions in your company. This is something that, on average, the people that watch my channel, who tend to be privacy focused, sovereignty focused, and just FAFO focused, for lack of a better way to put it, didn't exactly like. Now, in the last video that I did, there were a lot of people pushing back against the fact that I called this a rapist mentality, and I implied that the people that were doing this and taking part in this behavior were rapists. And I'd like the opportunity to defend that before I get into the topic of today's video. It says right here in the article, 2 ex-employees said they weren't bothered by the sharing of images, saying that customers had given their consent or that people long ago had given up any reasonable expectation of keeping personal data private. Now, just from a common sense perspective, if somebody purchases a car and a self-driving feature, and the car has a bunch of cameras that record what's going on around the car, and that customer consents to the images and the recordings being used to train the full self-driving feature, what do you think that they were expecting? Behind door number 1? That the car is going to submit recordings to Tesla when appropriate so that they could train the full self-driving system. Behind door number 2, that employees of Tesla can just turn on access to the cameras in your car at any time, regardless of whether you're driving, even if you're in your garage, so that they could watch your kids, or watch you have sex with your wife, or watch you walk around naked, maybe jerk off to these images, and share them with their sick rapist coworkers who find it funny. Just from a common sense perspective, what do you think the customer was actually consenting to? Do you think that they care what the customer was consenting to? Because the customer was probably consenting to the images and video of them driving being used to train the self-driving system. They probably weren't consenting to you jerking off to them having sex with their wife in their garage or watching their children. This is a very common sense perspective. It's a common sense thing. But these employees don't care. They don't care what you actually consented to. They don't care what you're actually okay with, because they have a rapist mentality. Oh, you said no? I don't care. Oh, you're uncomfortable? I don't care. I want to see. I want to watch what's going on. So I am going to take, regardless of whether you consented. That is a rapist mentality, and I think it is entirely appropriate to call it what it is. It is not a privacy policy violation. It is a rapist mentality, and it should be called out as such so that it is shamed for what it actually is. Some of the recordings caught Tesla customers in embarrassing situations. One ex-employee described a video of a man approaching a vehicle completely naked. We could see inside people's garages and their private properties. Let's say that a Tesla customer had something in the garage that was distinctive. People would post these kinds of things, referring to the internal company chat they had for sharing private recordings and pictures from customers' households. I sometimes wondered if these people knew that we were seeing that. 2 former employees said in their normal work duties they were sometimes asked to view images of customers in and around their homes, including inside garages. I sometimes wondered if people knew that we're seeing that. I saw scandalous stuff sometimes. I saw scenes of intimacy. And there was just definitely a lot of stuff that I wouldn't want anybody to see about my life. It was a breach of privacy, and I always joked that I would never buy a Tesla after seeing how they treated some of these people. I'm bothered by it because the people who buy the car, I don't think they know that their privacy is not respected. We could see them doing laundry and doing really intimate things. We could see their kids. Now, if any of you are familiar with full self-driving, if you put an address into the car, it will drive you in front of the house, but it doesn't actually enter the garage. There's no argument that can even be made here that it makes sense to watch people in their garage. And if this was being done to actually train the system, which it's not, because the car doesn't enter your garage if you went through an address, it stops outside of it. You can't make the argument that this is being done to train the system when employees are being asked to look at this stuff and then sharing it in an internal company chat and making memes out of it. This is not about training the system. This is about screwing with people in the most disgusting way possible. And there was a class action lawsuit that is announced today, and I'm going to read this reporting from Linksys. So it says here, Tesla hit with class action lawsuit over alleged privacy intrusion. A California Tesla owner on Friday sued the electric car maker in a prospective class action lawsuit accusing it of violating the privacy of customers. The lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California came after Linksys reported on Thursday that groups of Tesla employees privately shared via an internal messaging system sometimes highly invasive videos and images recorded by customers' cars between 2019 and 2022. The lawsuit, filed by Henry Ye, a San Francisco resident who owns a Tesla Model Y, alleges that Tesla employees were able to access the images and videos for their tasteless and tortious entertainment and the humiliation of those surreptitiously recorded. And I agree. If I am making my content publicly available for consumption, by all means, that stuff's not private. You are more than welcome and entitled to take my content and meme the crap out of me. That's what it's there for. If I am naked in my garage, you're not using the images that my car's camera is collecting to help with the full self-driving program. You're using it to fuck with me in my personal home, and that's not cool. I agree with what he's saying completely. Like anyone would be, Mr. Ye was outraged at the idea that Tesla's cameras can be used to violate his family's privacy, which the California Constitution scrupulously protects. Jack Fitzgerald, an attorney representing Ye, said in a statement to Linksys. Tesla needs to be held accountable for these invasions and for misrepresenting its lax privacy practices to him and other Tesla owners, Fitzgerald said. Tesla did not immediately respond to Linksys' request for comment. The lawsuit said Tesla's conduct is particularly egregious and highly offensive. It said Ye was filing the complaint against Tesla on behalf of himself, similarly situated class members, and the general public. The complaint said the prospective class would include individuals who owned or leased a Tesla within the past 4 years. Linksys reported that some Tesla employees could see customers doing laundry and really intimate things. We could see their kids, cited a former employee. Indeed, parents' interest in their children's privacy is one of the most fundamental liberty interests society recognizes, the lawsuit said. The lawsuit asked the court to enjoin Tesla from engaging in its wrongful behavior, including violating the privacy of customers and others, and to recover actual and punitive damages. The part that is the most offensive about all of this to me is not even that Tesla was doing it, but rather that a Tesla owner has to hire an attorney to take action for him because our government is completely impotent. So in the last article that was released by Linksys, it said over here that circulating sensitive personal content could be construed as a violation of Tesla's own privacy policy, potentially resulting in an intervention by the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, which enforces federal laws relating to customers' privacy. A spokesperson for the FTC said it doesn't comment on individual companies or their conduct. Of course, the FTC is not going to comment on an individual company or their conduct because, in my opinion, they are utterly spineless. And yes, I'm going there. We are fucking going there because they don't do jack shit to protect the customer at this point in time. Several years ago, the FTC wrote a 59-page paper that essentially details how all the arguments against right to repair are complete crap. I went over it in this video. FTC delivers death blow to anti-repair lobbyists and their disingenuous arguments, and I have referenced this paper numerous times. It is 59 pages, it is very well cited, and it very well goes over a lot of the points that I make on my channel from a more professional point of view, and I appreciated that. The United States president then gave the FTC authority and encouraged them to make rules regarding right to repair, which I also went over in this video that I did about 2 years ago. And what happened? What happened several years later? Nothing. In this video is FTC management demoralizing staff out of effective antitrust enforcement. There are many articles written about this, and I have had several whistleblowers reach out to me to tell me that you really shouldn't hold your breath on the FTC doing anything because nothing is actually going to happen as a result of this. The FTC hasn't really done anything. When there's an executive order that comes out from the president saying, we would like to see you do something about this, when there is widespread support from the voting public to do something about this, and when they have a 59-page paper going over how everything that all these companies have been saying is wrong, crickets. So why would they actually do something in this case when they've had years to do something in a different case and they do nothing? We could go over violations of privacy from many companies until I'm blue in the face. Has the FTC really done anything about it? In my opinion, not even close to enough. So when the FTC says that they don't have any sort of comment on this individual company or conduct, of course they don't, because they're probably not going to do anything. An average citizen is going to have to take money out of his own pocket to pay an attorney to sue Tesla. Or he's going to have to find an attorney that thinks that he may be able to get money out of this, so he'll take the case on contingency for free. Which again, in my opinion, if you are going to give 30 to 50% of your paycheck to the government, they should be doing this not you. And somebody's going to make the hyper-libertarian or anarcho-capitalist government argument that government is always bad, they shouldn't be doing this. But even they, I think, would understand that if you are giving 30 to 50% of your money every single year to this organization that is supposed to protect your rights, that they should have beaten this gentleman to the punch. A Tesla owner should not be the one that is engaging in this suit. The government should be engaging in this suit based on the laws that are on the books as it is, that are designed to protect consumer privacy, that are routinely steamrolled. There are rare occasions where the FTC has actually found its backbone in defending consumer rights, whether we're talking about individual cases regarding certain grill manufacturers or Harley-Davidson. But at the end of the day, when you look at what they actually could have been fined versus what they were actually fined, and sometimes just warned, not even fined, it's a joke. It's a slap in the wrist. It's nothing. It's a step in the right direction, but it's a step in the right direction damn near 20 years too late. You have companies that have been voiding warranties illegally by saying, if anybody opens this product, if this seal is opened, then the warranty is void, that have been getting away with it. They know it's illegal and they don't care because they are never going to get in trouble for it. They're never going to get fined for it because the FTC has no teeth. The FTC has no balls. And in my opinion, at this point, they're completely ineffective. A normal, average, everyday citizen should not have to make this suit. It shouldn't be up to them when they're already paying somebody else to do this for them. And it's highly offensive to me that this guy is leading the charge with his own resources before any governmental institution actually does it. Because, like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, what do we pay you for? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.